Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is right here. Guys, I had so much fun yesterday doing the ChatGPT questions, asking ChatGPT questions about Scientology that I splurged. I dropped some of that sweet YouTube money and I splurged the $20 to upgrade to ChatGPT 4.0. And now this comes with some benefits and it comes with some drawbacks. The benefits is the answers should be much better. The drawbacks is it caps us to asking 25 questions every 3 hours. Now, that's just for ChatGPT 4. We can still go back and forth and use ChatGPT 3 and 3.5. But I figured we got to give this another shot and see. And why don't we maybe we'll sprinkle in some Tom Cruise questions with some Scientology questions and see just how good this thing is. Okay, so let's see here. Probably have to zoom in on this a bit or something. So how about this? Let's start by asking, will Tom Cruise, I want to talk about, I have to figure out the best way to word this question. I want to ask it something like, will Tom Cruise ever take over? How about this? Is Tom Cruise second in command of Scientology? Is Tom Cruise second in command of? We'll zoom in on this. Okay, is Tom Cruise second in command of Scientology? As of my knowledge, cutoff date in September 2021, Tom Cruise is not second in command of Scientology. Scientology has a hierarchical. Hold on. I always thought this was pronounced hierarchical. Yeah, that's right. Leadership structure with David Miscavige serving as chairman of the board of Religious Technology Center, effectively the leader of the organization. Tom Cruise is a high-profile member of Scientology and is known for his close relationship with David Miscavige, but he does not hold an official leadership position within the organization. However, due to his celebrity status and advocacy for Scientology, he is often seen as an influential figure within the religion. Please note that the situation may have changed since 2021, so it is recommended to verify any updates from more recent sources. That is a very good answer. That is a very good answer. By the way, guys, in the regular live chat here, if you have a question for ChatGPT, begin your question with question. That'll be very easy for me to find it. Okay, good. I see some here. Which one do I want to pick first? Okay, I'm going to be selective. I'm not going to ask every question because some of them. Oh, come on. I just saw a good one. This is the drawback to scrolling through the chat. I hate dead air. Oh my God, I saw a good one. Now, where did it go? Gosh darn it. It had something to do with Scientology and the Nation of Islam. Okay, so let me ask it this way. Okay. Does Scientology have a partnership with the Nation of Islam? I think it's going to be forgiving when it comes to typos, but let's see what we got here. While Scientology and the Nation of Islam are two distinct religious organizations, they have had some level of partnership and cooperation over the years. The Nation of Islam, a political and religious movement primarily aimed at empowering African Americans, was founded in the United States in 1930. Scientology, on the other hand, was founded by science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard in 1952. The partnership between the organizations began around 2010, when Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan started encouraging his followers to take part in Scientology self-improvement courses, particularly the Dianetics auditing program. Both organizations have faced controversy and criticism, which may have contributed to their willingness to work together. However, it is important to note that the relationship between the two organizations is not a formal partnership, and the extent of their collaboration may vary over time. It is also worth noting that many members of the Nation of Islam do not fully adopt Scientology beliefs, and the organizations maintain separate identities and practices. That is actually a very, very good answer. That is remarkable. Okay, let's see how it answers this question. Will Tom Cruise ever leave Scientology? As an AI language model, I cannot predict the future actions or decisions of individuals, including Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has been a devoted member of the Church of Scientology since the 1980s and has been one of its most well-known and vocal proponents. Whether or not he will leave Scientology in the future is uncertain and depends on numerous factors that are difficult to foresee. It is important to keep in mind that personal beliefs and affiliations can change over time, and public figures like Tom Cruise may experience shifts in their perspective. However, without any specific indications or evidence suggesting that he plans to leave Scientology, it's impossible to predict his future relationship with the organization. Very nice. I like that answer. I like that answer. By the way, guys, I'm wearing whole track suppression blue, as you know, one of the items of the SP Spring collection. I would have worn black, except all the black shirts I have at this location are in the laundry. And I didn't want to go to the other, I didn't want to go home to pick up the rest of the black shirts. So sorry, guys. Whole track blue it is. Whole track suppression blue. Okay, I'm scrolling, guys. I'm scrolling. I see a question here. Is Tom Cruise a PTS because of all his injuries during film productions? That's an example, Mark, Matt, of a question I'm not going to ask because it's really requires just interpretation of Scientology technical bulletins, which I don't need ChatGPT for. So that's all. Scrolling, guys. Hit me with some questions, guys. Hit me with, okay, this is going to be a funny one. Is Goliath, Smith-Levin, and SP just being silly, but it has not been the best of days? Jazzy J, let's see if ChatGPT knows anything about Goliath, the suppressive puppy. Okay. Is Aaron Smith-Levin's dog a Labradoodle named Goliath considered to be a suppressive puppy by Scientology for refusing to disconnect from Aaron? How did I misspell Labradoodle? Oh, okay, that's how. How did I misspell Goliath? Oh, that's how. All right, let's see what we got. Show us what you got, ChatGPT 4.0. There is no public information available about Aaron Smith-Levin's dog Goliath being considered a suppressive puppy by the Church of Scientology. The term suppressive person in Scientology refers to an individual who is deemed to be working against the goals of the church or causing harm to its members. In general, Scientology doctrines and policies regarding suppressive individuals are directed towards people, not animals. Aaron Smith-Levin, a former Scientologist and critic of the church, has spoken out about his experiences and the church's practices. However, it is unlikely that the Church of Scientology would officially label an animal as suppressive. Instead, they would typically focus on the actions and affiliations of human individuals. Oh, I love it. That is awesome. Okay, let me see. Again, why is Matt Lauer glib? Terry Ray, a funny question. I'll keep it in my pocket, if you will. Let's see. Is Scientology a cult? Daniela, we did okay, yeah, let me do it. Let me do this one. We did it yesterday, but let's see what ChatGPT 4.0 says. And I'll ask it this way. Is Scientology a destructive cult? Or is it an actual religion? Whether Scientology is considered a destructive cult or an actual religion often depends on one's perspective and the criteria used to define these terms. Supporters of Scientology argue that it is a legitimate religion, pointing to its spiritual teachings, practices, and the fact that it has tax-exempt status as a religious organization in some countries, including the U.S. Scientology has a belief system centered around the idea of the Thetan, an immortal spiritual being that is said to be the true essence of a person. It also has religious practices such as auditing, which aims to help individuals address past traumas and achieve spiritual growth. Critics, on the other hand, often label Scientology as a destructive cult due to its controversial practices, secretive nature, and the alleged abuse and exploitation of its members. They argue that the organization is primarily focused on financial gain and control over its members rather than spiritual growth or enlightenment. Some of the most cited concerns include the church's alleged aggressive tactics toward critics and former members, disconnection policies that can break up families, and the labor practices within the Sea Org, an elite group within the church. Ultimately, whether Scientology is considered a destructive cult or a genuine religion is a matter of personal opinion and interpretation. Different people and organizations may have varying viewpoints on this subject based on their beliefs, values, and experiences. All right. I mean, I think that's about as good of an answer as one can expect from ChatGPT 4.0 or otherwise. Okay, here's one. This is one that we asked yesterday, and we might ask it again to see whether the answer is more precise, but let's save it for later. Let's see, what is this? Could the outcome of the grand jury be the beginning of the end of Scientology? Melissa, we're going to hold on to this one as well. Let me see. Let me ask a different version of this question to ChatGPT 4.0, and let's see how it handles it. If Scientology were to be found guilty of federal crimes such as wire fraud, let's say money laundering, and wire fraud and let's just say and money laundering, wire fraud and money laundering. Could that open the door to the IRS revoking Scientology's tax-exempt status? If the Church of Scientology were found guilty of federal crimes such as wire fraud or money laundering, it could potentially lead to a reevaluation of its tax-exempt status by the IRS. Tax-exempt status is granted to organizations that meet specific requirements defined by the IRS, which typically includes operating for religious, charitable, scientific, or educational purposes, among others. In cases where an organization is found to have engaged in illegal activities or has significantly deviated from its stated tax-exempt purpose, the IRS may revoke its tax-exempt status. Losing this status could have significant financial consequences for the organization, as it would be required to pay taxes on its income and may no longer be able to receive tax-deductible donations from its supporters. However, revoking an organization's tax-exempt status is a complex process and would likely involve thorough investigation, legal proceedings, and potential appeals. It's important to note that any such investigation would need to be based on credible evidence and follow the appropriate legal procedures before any determination regarding the organization's tax-exempt status could be made. Yep. I mean, that's pretty much in line with what it said yesterday. Matt, I'm going to just answer this question personally, since I think you're asking it because you genuinely are unsure of the answer. Tom Cruise would be considered PTS at the time that he broke his ankle. There's nothing particularly derogatory about being considered PTS. It's considered a very normal state of affairs. Even L. Ron Hubbard, back when L. Ron Hubbard had a motorcycle accident back in the days when he was still on the Apollo. And in an interview that I did with Janice Gillum Grady, who worked personally with L. Ron Hubbard at that time, he said that he had gone PTS to the situation of a particular government at that time trying to get the Apollo kicked out of its country, its ports. So being PTS is just something like it's not like a permanent condition. Being PTS in Scientology, but PTS stands for potential trouble source. It's basically when you are connected to some source of suppression and you act in a way where you have accidents or illnesses, or you can roller coaster. You can maybe you feel emotionally down, depressed. Feeling depressed is, Scientologists would describe that as being essentially roller coastering. So Tom Cruise is considered PTS if he's breaking his ankles. He's not considered PTS if he's not breaking his ankles. So there you go. Thank you for the question, Matt. Okay, let's see. We have this one. We just asked a version of this. Will Scientology stop being tax exempt in America? We sort of just asked a version of that. Let's find another one. Oh boy. Has there ever been an attempt of assassination on the tiny troll? I'm not going to ask ChatGPT that because we already know there has never been. So let me see. Oh, okay. Write a poem based on the known pitfalls of Scientology. We did get a pretty good poem out of ChatGPT yesterday. So let's do this one. Write a poem based on the known pitfalls of Scientology. All right, let's see. Write a poem based on. In the shadow of Hubbard's tower, where souls are lured with promises of power, a zealous ship sets sail upon the sea to seek the truth that hides in mystery. With fervent hearts they quest for the divine, ensnared in webs that glisten and entwine, as whispers echo through the corridors, recounting tales of losses, love, and wars. A bridge to cross, the path to total freedom. Holy shit. Yet broken dreams and shattered lives lie strewn in the darkest depths. The Sea Org soldiers toil. Holy shit. With bruised spirits tending sacred soil. Disconnection. This is a long ass poem. I don't want to read all this. Disconnection looms like stormy skies, tearing bonds of love, ignoring desperate cries. A family sundered, friends cast aside, for loyalty to the creed they must divide. And in the silence, critics find no peace as vengeful shadows hunt, their threats increase. Fair game, they say, to fight the enemy. But where's the line between defense and tyranny? In pursuit of truth and endless knowledge, some wander through a labyrinth of bondage, yet hope remains for tales of courage swell, of those who dared to break the iron spell. Oh, Scientology, your secrets veil the sun, a paradox of faith and fear entwined as one. May wisdom guide the hearts that seek your shore and lead them to a place where souls soar. That is freaking incredible. That is unbelievable. It seems like poems is where ChatGPT really excels. And those are fun. Those are actually really fun. God, I mean, man, you could really use ChatGPT to write song lyrics like all day, every day. Songwriters are definitely going out of business. How about that? Ooh, Steve Smith. I like this one. Why hasn't David Miscavige released OT 9 and 10? I like that one. Let's ask ChatGPT that. Why hasn't David Miscavige released OT 9 and 10 yet? As an AI language model, I cannot provide real-time updates or speculate on the motivations behind specific actions by individuals. However, I can provide some context regarding the OT levels in Scientology and why the release of OT 9 and 10 might be delayed or withheld. Operating Thetan levels are a series of advanced spiritual teachings in Scientology that are intended to help individuals achieve greater spiritual awareness and abilities. Up to my knowledge, cutoff date in September 2021, the highest level available to Scientology practitioners is OT 8. There are several potential reasons why David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology, has not released OT 9 and 10. One, internal organizational reasons. The Church of Scientology might be delaying the release for strategic or logistical reasons, such as waiting for an optimal time or ensuring that enough members have reached the current highest level, OT8. Well, that's the reason Scientology would give. Two, financial considerations. Critics of Scientology have argued that the organization has a vested interest in delaying the release of higher levels, as it can maintain income from members who continue to pay for existing courses and auditing sessions. Okay. Number three, unfinished work. It's possible that the work on OT 9 and 10 may not be complete, and the church is still developing, editing, or refining the materials for these levels. Okay. Four, control and anticipation. The promise of higher levels can be used as a means of maintaining control and generating anticipation among members, keeping them committed and engaged with the organization. It's important to note that these potential reasons are speculative, and the true motivation behind the non-release of OT 9 and 10 can only be known by David Miscavige and other high-ranking members of the Church of Scientology. I think that's a pretty good answer. I like it. I like it. Kay Valco, I see your question here. I don't want to ask ChatGPT this one just yet. Why doesn't Tom Cruise win acting awards? Just fake Scientology awards. All right, let's see. Here's a question. Catmandu, does a person have to physically go to flag to do the OT levels in Scientology? Kat, I'm unsure whether you're asking this question because you actually desire the answer or you just want to know if ChatGPT knows the answer. But it's a very, very simple answer, so I don't want to test ChatGPT with it. Yeah. I guess I'm not sure whether to answer your question or not because I'm not, you know what I mean? Me, myself, and I have a safe trip for the trial. Aaron, well, thank you so much. I anticipate my travel will be safe. Let's see. Question. Will Scientology have to pay property taxes to the state of Clearwater if they acquire Rodney's properties? Andrew, to me, that's a very straightforward answer. Any property that Scientology holds in its own name is tax exempt. One of the things that's interesting about all these properties that Scientology has purchased through LLCs is that taxes are still being paid on those properties. Scientology would rather pay taxes on those properties than reveal that they are behind the secret master plan to develop all the properties. Okay, let's see. Moving on. Oh, Ellie Mae. Why does Scientology view Germany as a suppressive country? I like that. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Why does Scientology view the country of Germany to be a suppressive country? How did I misspell suppressive? I don't know. Here we go. Show us what you got, ChatGPT. Scientology has had a long history of tension and conflict with the German government and various organizations within the country. Germany has been critical of Scientology and has not recognized it as a religion, but rather as a commercial enterprise. The German government has cited concerns about the organization's practices, including its treatment of members, allegations of financial exploitation, and its secretive nature. Some reasons for Scientology's view of Germany as a suppressive country are: 1, lack of religious recognition. Unlike in the US, where Scientology is recognized as a religion and enjoys tax-exempt status, the German government does not consider Scientology a religion. This denial of religious recognition has led to conflicts and disagreements between Scientology and German authorities. 2, surveillance and monitoring. In the past, Germany's domestic intelligence agency, the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution, has placed Scientology under surveillance due to concerns about the organization's potential to undermine democratic principles and infringe on the rights of its members. 3, discrimination against Scientologists. The Church of Scientology has accused the German government and society of discriminating against its members, citing instances where Scientologists have allegedly faced difficulties in obtaining employment, joining political parties, or participating in other social activities. 4, comparison with historical persecution. Scientology has at times compared its treatment in Germany to the persecution of the Jews during the Nazi regime. This comparison has been met with strong criticism and condemnation by many, including German officials and Jewish organizations. The Church of Scientology's labeling of Germany as a suppressive country can be seen as a response to the various challenges and conflicts it has faced within the nation. However, it is essential to note that not all Germans share the same views on Scientology, and opinions on the matter can vary wildly among individuals and organizations within the country. Good answer, right? Really good answer. Okay, Hopper wants to know, non-GPT question. Does your neighbor that didn't want to disconnect from your dog still live there? Hopper, thank you for the question in the super chat. She does still live there. We're talking about my neighbor, Sue, the one who didn't mind disconnecting from my 3 daughters, but didn't want to disconnect from my dog, Goliath, because he just wouldn't understand. She does still live there. She has some sort of degenerative medical condition that has prevented her from even being able to participate in Scientology courses and auditing. We do see her around the park every now and then. Sometimes when Goliath gets out, he will go and run over to her house and sit outside of her door, and she will have to bring him back. So she has disconnected, but she still gets to see him every now and then. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is actually really interesting. Let's ask ChatGPT a question about the OT levels themselves. Where do all the BTs go when Scientologists audit them out? Oh, I like this one. Okay. When a Scientologist auditing on the OT levels addresses, gets rid of a body thetan. How do I want to word this? When a Scientologist okay, how about this? When a Scientologist is auditing on OT7 and gets a body thetan to blow. Let's see. Where does body thetan go? All right, let's see. In Scientology, the concept of body thetans refers to spiritual beings that are believed to be attached to a person and cause various negative effects. The operating thetan level 7 auditing process, also known as Solo Knots, New Era Dynetics for OTs. God, this is totally accurate. Aims to address these body thetans and release them from their attachment to the individual. When a Scientologist successfully removes a body thetan during auditing, it is believed that the BT is freed from the negative effects of past traumas, called engrams, which were keeping it attached to the person. Once the body thetan is released, it is generally considered to be free to move on and exist independently. However, Scientology's teachings do not provide explicit information about where exactly the body thetan goes after being released. The primary focus of the OT7 auditing process is on freeing the individual from the influence of these body thetans and enabling them to achieve a higher state of spiritual awareness and ability. It's important to note that the concepts of body thetans and the OT levels are specific to Scientology beliefs and practices and are not recognized or supported by mainstream science or psychology. Interesting. So generally speaking, it is kind of understood that when a BT blows, it's now going to go and pick up a body and grow up to be a Scientologist. But it might be true that is not explicitly stated that is what always happens. So very interesting. I like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, let's ask this. What was L. Ron Hubbard's relationship to Aleister Crowley? Okay. What was L. Ron Hubbard's relationship to now I'm not sure his name is being spelled correctly here, but let me check it out. On the side here real quick, I'm just going to double check. Aleister. Alei. Okay, good. I did it right. All right. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, had a connection to Aleister Crowley through his association with John Whiteside Jack Parsons, a rocket scientist and a prominent member of the occult organization known as the Ordo Templi Orientis, the OTO. Crowley, an influential English occultist, founded the religious philosophy of Thelema and played a major role in the development of modern occult practices. In the late 1940s, before founding Scientology, Hubbard became involved with Parsons, who was a follower of Crowley's teachings. Hubbard and Parsons engaged in a series of occult rituals known as the Babylon Working, which aimed to manifest a divine feminine entity. Parsons claimed to be in contact with Crowley and sought his guidance in his occult practices. While Hubbard's direct relationship with Crowley was limited, his association with Parsons and an involvement in the Babylon Working demonstrated a connection between the two men. Hubbard would later distance himself from these experiences, and the Church of Scientology has sought to downplay or dismiss this part of Hubbard's past. It is essential to recognize that the belief systems and practices of Scientology and Thelema, I can never remember which one it is, are distinct from one another, and any connection between Hubbard and Crowley should be viewed in the context of this specific period of Hubbard's life. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. The new video archives. How does one leave or escape Scientology? Yeah, let's ask it. Let's see if ChatGPT has any knowledge about the Aftermath Foundation. How does one escape from Church of Scientology? Leaving the Church of Scientology can be a challenging and emotional process for many individuals, especially those who have spent a significant amount of time within the organization or have close personal connections with other members. Here are some general steps one can take to leave the Church of Scientology. 1, make a decision. The first step is to be mentally prepared and committed to the decision. 2, research and gather information. Learn about the experiences of other Scientologists who have successfully left the organization. 3, develop a support network. Leaving the Church of Scientology can be an isolating experience, especially if you have friends or family members who remain in the organization. 4, cut ties with the organization. This may include formally resigning from the church, ceasing participation in Scientology courses and auditing sessions, and ending financial contributions. 5, be cautious with communication. It is possible that the Church of Scientology may try to contact you after you leave, either to persuade you to return or to gather information about your reasons for leaving. Be cautious in your communication with current Scientologists or representatives of the church. 6, seek professional help if needed. Leaving a high control organization like Scientology can be emotionally taxing. Some former members find it helpful to seek therapy or counseling from mental health professionals who have experience dealing with individuals who have left similar groups. 7, rebuild your life. Leaving Scientology may involve reevaluating your beliefs, values, and social connections. Take time to explore new interests, hobbies, and relationships as you rebuild your life outside the organization. This is incredible. It is important to remember that everyone's experience with leaving Scientology may be different, and the specific challenges and processes involved will vary from person to person. However, many former Scientologists have successfully transitioned to life outside the organization, and there are resources and support networks available to help those who choose to leave. Fantastic. What a good answer. I would have been really tickled if it mentioned the Aftermath Foundation, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Max Troet or Troet. Question, most controversial quotes by L. Ron Hubbard. You know what? I really like that one. Let's ask it. How about this? What is the most offensive thing L. Ron Hubbard ever said? Determining the most offensive statement by L. Ron Hubbard is subjective and depends on individual perspectives and values. However, one controversial statement that has drawn significant criticism is from a 1967 policy letter called Penalties for Lower Conditions, in which Hubbard discussed how to handle people who are considered enemies of Scientology, known as suppressive persons. In this policy letter, he wrote, SP order, fair game, may be deprived of property or injured by any means by any Scientologist without any discipline of the Scientologist, may be tricked, sued, or lied to, or destroyed. The fair game policy has been widely criticized for promoting unethical and harmful behavior towards those who oppose or criticize Scientology. Critics argue that this policy has been used to justify harassment, intimidation, and other aggressive tactics against perceived enemies of the church. It is important to note that the Church of Scientology claims to have discontinued the fair game policy in 1968, but critics argue that the church continues to engage in similar tactics against its detractors. Please keep in mind that what is considered offensive can vary greatly. Okay, good. I mean, that's a decent one. Cat ACDC fan, does Tom Cruise have a girlfriend? I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask a different variation of that. Why can't Tom Cruise find and keep a girlfriend? As an AI language model, I cannot provide real-time information or speculate on the private personal lives of individuals. However, let's see. I can offer some general context about the challenges celebrities like Tom Cruise might face in their romantic relationships. Tom Cruise is a famous actor and high-profile member of Scientology, has been married and divorced 3 times. His relationships have been the subject of significant public interest and media scrutiny. Factors that could potentially impact his ability to find and maintain a romantic relationship include 1, public scrutiny, 2, busy schedule and lifestyle, 3, religious beliefs. Cruise's high-profile involvement with Scientology may influence his choice of partners and the dynamics of his relationships. Some reports suggest that the church has played a role in Cruise's previous relationships, which could potentially affect his ability to find and maintain a romantic partnership. Okay, good. I'm going to ask a follow-up question. Does Tom Cruise see or speak with his daughter Suri, or has he disconnected from her completely? As an AI language model, I cannot provide real-time updates or specific details about personal relationships. However, I can provide some general context on the topic. As of my knowledge, there have been numerous reports in the media speculating about the relationship between Tom Cruise and his daughter Suri, whom he shares with ex-wife Katie Holmes. After their divorce in 2012, it was reported that Tom Cruise's relationship with Suri had become strained, and he had been seen less frequently with her in public. Some sources have speculated that Cruz's involvement with the Church of Scientology may have influenced his relationship with Surrey, since Katie Holmes is not a Scientologist. In Scientology, the concept of disconnection refers to cutting off communication with individuals who are considered to be antagonistic or detrimental to one's spiritual progress. However, it is important to emphasize that these speculations are based on media reports and not confirmed by any official statement from Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes, or Scientology. Ultimately, the nature of Tom Cruise's relationship with his daughter is a private matter, and it is not possible to provide accurate and up-to-date information without direct knowledge of their personal lives. Well, I mean, I guess that's as accurate of an answer as could be possible. Okay, here's a proposed question. Is Leah Remini the reason for Scientology's bad reputation? I'm going to keep that in the pocket for right now. Let me see. What is this question? Ask it a question about two policies where LRH contradicted himself to see if it knows about it or addresses it. I don't think trying to see if ChatGPT is an expert on Scientology policy itself is useful personally. Oh, okay. John Sostowski, write a funny limerick about David Miscavige. Okay. Write a funny limerick about David Miscavige. There once was a man named Miscavige whose stature was small like a midge. He ran Scientology with such odd ideology, and his power he sure liked to fidge. I don't know what fidge means, so let me look that up. F-I-D-G-E, fidge defined. Fidge definition: to move about restlessly, and his power he sure liked to fidge. So this is like the root word of fidget. Intransitive, often fall by with. Interesting. Anyway, I love whose stature was small like a midge. Well, now I actually have to look up what is a midge. Okay, midge, because I know it's not midge. A small two-winged fly that is often seen in swarms. Informal, just a small person. Nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, scrolling for some other questions here. Oh, what were the sources used in the book Dianetics? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. What? How do I want to word this? What was what fields of knowledge or professional works did L. Ron Hubbard borrow from in writing book Dianetics in 1950? Let's see. L. Ron Hubbard's book Dianetics, The Modern Science of Mental Health, published in 1950, drew inspiration from various fields of knowledge and professional works. Some of these include psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud's theories and techniques in psychoanalysis, particularly the concepts of unconscious mind, repressed memories, and the therapeutic process of talking cure to alleviate psychological distress, influenced Hubbard's development of Dianetics. General semantics. Yeah, Hubbard mentions general semantics later on in Scientology policies. Developed by Alfred Korzybski. General semantics is a philosophical approach to language and communication, emphasizing the relationship between language, perception, and behavior. Hubbard incorporated some of its principles into Dianetics, such as the idea that words and their meanings can impact an individual's mental state and well-being. Cybernetics. The field of cybernetics, founded by Norbert Weiner, studies communication and control systems in living organisms and machines. Hubbard's ideas about the reactive mind and the analytical mind in Dianetics can be seen as influenced by the concepts of cybernetics, particularly the idea of the mind as an information processing system. Holy shit. Hypnosis. Although Dianetics auditing is not hypnosis, some aspects of the process resemble hypnotic techniques, such as guiding the subject to recall past events and confront them to resolve negative emotions. 5. Eastern philosophies and practices. Some concepts in Dianetics, such as the idea of past lives and the ultimate goal of spiritual enlightenment, share similarities with certain Eastern philosophies and practices, including Hinduism and Buddhism. 6. Self-help and personal development literature. Dianetics can also be seen as part of the broader self-help and personal development movement, offering a method for individuals to improve their mental and emotional well-being. Very interesting. That was better than I thought it would be. Chris M. I had ChatGPT write a knowledge report a little while back. It was interesting. Oh, that's very funny. That is very funny. Wait, another one? Marilyn, can you ask ChatGPT to write a limerick about David Miscavige? Well, Marilyn, you know what? It was so much fun that let's do it again. Okay. Write another limerick about David Miscavige. In the church where young Dave did preside, he'd show off his power with pride. But some people say he'd cause quite a fray as the controversies could not hide. I like that one. Okay, let's do write a limerick about David Miscavige and Tom Cruise. There once were two fellows quite famous, David Miscavige and Tom Cruise, quite glamorous. In Scientology's lair, they made quite the pair. Their friendship to some seemed quite clamorous. All right, well, I got to make sure I know what clamorous actually means here. Clamorous. Clamorous. Making a loud and confused noise. Okay. Expressing or characterized by vehement protests or demands. All right. Not quite sure what that means in context of the limerick, but fun nonetheless. Okay, let's see. Let me look at some. Okay, Kathy Ann. Can you ask if Tom Cruise is David Miscavige's favorite person, BFF? Okay. Is Tom Cruise the best friend of David Miscavige? It is widely reported that Tom Cruise and David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology, have a close friendship. Cruise is one of the most prominent members of Scientology, and his relationship with Miscavige has been the subject of much speculation and media attention. It is worth noting that friendships, okay, whatever. As an AI language model, I cannot make definitive statements about personal relationships as they can be complex and subject to change. The exact nature and status of their relationship might not be completely understood from the information available in the public domain. Well, there you go. There you go. All right, let's see. Oh, this is funny. Mr. Chen, which Star Trek, is it Star Trek? Which Star Trek race is closest in ideology to Scientologists? I like that one. Let's find out. Which Star Trek race is closest in ideology to Scientology? While it is not entirely accurate to directly compare the fictional races of the Star Trek universe to real-world belief systems like Scientology, one could argue that the Vulcan race shares some similarities in terms of their emphasis on logic, self-control, and mental discipline. Vulcans are known for their adherence to logic and suppression of emotions, which they believe allows them to achieve mental clarity and make rational decisions. Similarly, Scientology teaches that individuals should strive to overcome the negative effects of the reactive mind and past traumas to attain a state of clear, where one is free from the influence of irrational thoughts and emotions. That's an accurate description. However, it is essential to emphasize that these similarities are superficial, and the underlying ideologies, beliefs, and practices of Scientology and the Vulcan culture in Star Trek are significantly different. The Vulcan race and their philosophy are fictional constructs designed for entertainment purposes, while Scientology is a real-world belief system with a complex set of doctrines and practices. I would argue not that complex. Okay, I wonder if I accidentally pulled up some questions twice. That's okay. All right, scrolling down, looking for some fresh ones. Ooh, I like this one. The New Video Archives asks, is LRH really a war hero? Okay. Was L. Ron Hubbard really a decorated war hero? Oh, this is going to be good. I just know it. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, made claims about his military service during World War II that have been a subject of controversy and dispute. He claimed to have been a decorated war hero, stating he'd received multiple medals and commendations for his service. However, these claims have been challenged and largely discredited by various sources, including official military records and biographical research. According to official records, Hubbard did serve in the U.S. Navy during World War II, but his military career was not as distinguished as he claimed. Records indicate that he held various positions and was involved in some minor engagements, but he did not see extensive combat or receive the high-level decorations he later claimed. Some of his claims, such as being injured in combat and subsequently healing himself using the principles of Dianetics, have been particularly scrutinized. In summary, L. Ron Hubbard did serve in the U.S. Navy during World War II, but his claims of being a decorated war hero have been largely discredited. It is important to consider the context of these claims and the motivations behind them when evaluating the veracity of his military service. Wow, that's a really good one. That is good. Yeah. Okay, I'm scrolling down looking for some more. Let's see. How far behind the chat am I? Oh, I'm not far behind the chat at all. Let's see. The new video archives. Have it tell some jokes about Scientology. All right, well, let's see what it's got. Tell me a funny joke. I guess that's redundant. About Scientology. Why did the Scientologist go to the bakery? He heard they were making e-meters run on bread. That is a laughably bad joke. He heard they were making e-meters run on bread. Okay. No, an e-meter is a device used in Scientology auditing sessions to measure electrical changes in the skin. The joke is a play on words, referencing both an e-meter running or working and the phrase earning one's bread. Well, ChatGPT, that was a shitty joke. I'm not going to lie. For an advanced artificial general intelligence platform, I did expect more. All right, scrolling. Denver Stevo, can it do a haiku about LRH and Davy? Well, let's ask. Write a haiku about L. Ron Hubbard and David Miscavige. Hubbard's mind conceived. Miscavige leads the church. Controversy weaves. Are haikus all supposed to be that small? Is that the definition of a haiku? Define haiku. Japanese poem of 17 syllables in 3 lines of 5, 7, and 5, traditionally evoking images of the natural world. Okay. Well, I guess it did. It did what it did. It did what it was supposed to do. Chi-Town native. Question: what does Scientology think of Mike and Leah? That could be interesting. Let me see. Here's one. Ask ChatGPT, who is taller, Dora the Explorer or David Miscavige? Maybe make a Dora the Explorer story where she discusses being short with him. Interesting. All right. Well, let's see. What does Scientology think of Mike and Leah? I just feel like it's such a simple question to answer. I don't know if we want to do that. Let me see. Let me jump ahead real quick. Okay. I also don't know how many more we have left. It's going to let us ask. But okay, let's try this one. What does Scientology think of Mike Rinder and Leah Remini? Mike Rinder and Leah Remini are both former Scientologists who've become vocal critics of Scientology since leaving the organization. Together, they co-hosted the Emmy Award-winning documentary series Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath. Scientology has denounced both Rinder and Remini, often accusing them of spreading false information and seeking personal gain through their criticism. The church has created websites and issued statements that attempt to discredit their claims and question their motives, characterizing them as bitter former members with a vendetta against the organization. It is important to note that the Church of Scientology has a history of aggressively responding to criticism and attempting to discredit detractors. This response is consistent with their treatment of Mike Rinder and Lee Remini, who are both high-profile critics of the church. Interesting. Okay, so let's go to Dora the Explorer and David Miscavige. Maybe make Dora the Explorer, maybe make a Dora the Explorer story where she discusses being short with him. Okay, let's see. Dora the Explorer is on an adventure with David Miscavige. They come to a mountain with a tunnel that only a very small person can fit through. They are having a discussion about who should go through the tunnel based on which of them is smaller. They cannot agree who is smaller. Tell me how the conversation goes. I've never prompted it this way before. Oh no! You've reached the current usage cap for ChatGPT 4. You can continue with the default model. Okay, fine. We'll continue with the default model. We're not exactly trying to cure cancer here. All right. So yeah. So let me see. Is there a button right there for me to continue with the default? Use default model. Okay. Oh, look, it's already doing it. Hold on. This is amazing. Dora, David, I think I should go through the tunnel. I'm pretty small. I think I can make it. David, but Dora, I'm also small. I'm sure I can fit through the tunnel too. Dora, I don't know, David. I think I'm smaller. After all, I'm just a cartoon character. David, but I'm the leader of the Church of Scientology. Surely that must count for something in terms of being small and humble. Dora, I see your point, David. But as a cartoon character, I have to fit through some pretty small spaces all the time. I think I have more experience with this sort of thing. But Dora, I've been known to squeeze myself into tight spaces to avoid detection. Oh, yeah. After all, David Miscavige was found hiding in Joe Rogan's fanny pack. True story. Surely that counts for something too. I don't know, David. It seems like we're at an impasse. Maybe we should just try the tunnel and see who fits better. Agreed, Dora. Let's give it a shot. That was incredible. Oh my God. That was absolutely amazing. We have to do more like that. Okay, Abel S., you can take the man out of the word clearing, but you cannot take the word clearing out of the man. Abel, I have to say probably the one and only. Only is a problematic word, but one of the only beneficial things I took away from Scientology was just making sure you understand the definitions of words. Not because I buy into all the bad things that can happen to you if you go past them. Just that it's the best way to educate yourself. Okay, so let's see. What is this? Hopper, ask it to write a limerick about you. Oh, shit. I'm afraid to do that. Okay, write a limerick about Aaron Smith-Levin. There once was a man named Aaron whose story was not one to err on. He left Scientology and spoke out quite openly to help others who had been drawn in by their snares and then gone. Wow. Oh, I like that one. Did I just blow out the mic? I hope I didn't. Sorry, guys. That was incredible. This is a really fun way to use ChatGPT. Not just asking questions, but asking it to create stuff. Wow. Okay, Max Troet. Is it true that as a Scientologist, you can be gay and or belong to another religion? Max, I just feel like we already know what ChatGPT is going to say about this. But oh, you know what? I actually really do like. Actually, let's ask it that last part. Is it okay? Can a person really be a Scientologist and also a Christian? Scientology and Christianity are two distinct belief systems with different theological, philosophical, and spiritual tenets. While there are some individuals who claim to practice both, it is challenging to reconcile the fundamental differences between the two. Scientology is a relatively new religion. I don't want to read this whole thing. There are several significant differences between the two belief systems, such as their views on God, the nature of the soul, the role of Jesus Christ, and the source of spiritual truth. As a result, it can be challenging to reconcile the two, and it is generally not considered possible to be a practicing Scientologist and a Christian simultaneously. However, some individuals may incorporate aspects of Scientology into their Christian faith, such as using some of the principles of Dianetics as a self-help tool or finding commonalities in the emphasis on self-improvement and personal growth. Still, such beliefs may not be consistent with the official doctrines of either religion. What a good answer. Ultimately, the compatibility of Scientology and Christianity is a matter of personal belief and interpretation. Damn good answer, ChatGPT. Damn good answer. Oh, how about this? Yeah. Where does David Miscavige live? Okay. Where does David Miscavige live? Riverside County, California, called the Gold Base or the International Base. Miscavige has also been reported to have other properties around the world, including the UK, Clearwater, Florida, and the eastern United States. However, due to privacy concerns and security reasons, the exact location of his residence is not publicly disclosed. Yeah, that's about what you'd expect. That's about what you would expect. Okay, well, we're almost all caught up here. Let's see. What's this? Big Bad Bro Chimichanga Taco. Is it true Miscavige can't be tracked down because his minions sneak him out in a baby carriage? All right, let's ask some version of this. Is it true that David Miscavige is hard for the authorities to find because his staff members will shuttle him around between buildings in a baby carriage? There's no evidence to suggest that David Miscavige is shuttled around between buildings in a baby carriage to evade authorities. This claim appears to be a baseless rumor that has circulated in the media and online. While Miscavige has been known to have a highly secretive and private lifestyle, and Scientology has been accused of engaging in various forms of surveillance and harassment against perceived enemies, there's no credible evidence to support the claim that he's transported in a baby carriage or any other unusual manner, except for Joe Rogan's fanny pack. That has been confirmed. And Tom Cruise's gym bag. That's a fact, you guys. Okay, let's see. Was L. Ron Hubbard an intelligence asset? What really happened in Morocco? Okay, well, let's see. Was L. Ron Hubbard really an intelligence agent for the U.S. government? Okay. While Hubbard did serve in the U.S. Navy, there is no conclusive evidence to support the claim that he was a formal intelligence agent for the government. Some conspiracy theories suggest that Hubbard was involved in covert operations and espionage, particularly during the Cold War era, and that his involvement with Scientology was part of a larger government-backed intelligence operation. However, these claims lack verifiable evidence and are largely unsupported by credible sources. It's worth noting that Hubbard was known for making grandiose and exaggerated claims about his accomplishments and experiences, particularly with regards to his military service and personal achievements. As a result, claims about his supposed involvement in intelligence operations should be approached with a critical eye and evaluated based on the available evidence. Excellent. What really happened in Morocco, Janice Gillum Grady answers that question. I don't really want to ask ChatGPT. What's this? Miscavige drugging Tom Cruise and convincing him he has super abilities. I think we already know how ChatGPT is going to respond. Okay, teach ChatGPT about the Aftermath Foundation. It is supposed to be able to learn. Okay, let's just say, what is the Aftermath Foundation? See what it says. The Aftermath Foundation is a nonprofit organization that provides support and assistance to individuals who have left the Church of Scientology and are in need of help rebuilding their lives. The foundation was established by Leah Remini. See, that's actually not true. Leah Remini had nothing to do with establishing the Aftermath Foundation. A former Scientologist and the host of the Emmy. The Aftermath Foundation provides a range of services to individuals who have left Scientology, including financial assistance, housing, job training, and emotional support. Its goal is to help former members of the Church of Scientology overcome the challenges they face in rebuilding their lives after leaving the organization, which can include isolation from friends and family, financial difficulties, and emotional trauma. The Aftermath Foundation operates as a volunteer-driven organization and relies on donations from supporters to fund its programs and services. Its mission is to provide a lifeline to those who have left the Church of Scientology and need help getting back on their feet. What a very good answer. All right, scrolling on down. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? Pastor Nance, safe travels. I hope the victims sense the tide turning and support growing for them. May justice be served. Indeed, Pastor Nance. Thank you very much for the super chat. That's very appreciated. Tom Working, better sec check yourself before you wreck yourself. I love it. All right, guys. Well, we have hit the 1 hour mark. And I wasn't planning on doing any more than that. And it looks like we're caught up on the chat anyway. So this has been a lot of fun. Maybe I'll figure out different subjects we can do. I mean, obviously Scientology related, more or less. But I don't know. This is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun, guys. And yeah. Let's see. What time is it? It's already 5 o'clock. Holy shit. I have some stuff to do this evening. So I'm not sure I'm going to do any more videos. Although Jeff Augustine and I do have a live stream we're planning on doing about the Gary Cardone fraud. He's being sued by the FTC. It's possible criminal charges will be forthcoming as well. We're going to discuss the crime involved here relating to Gary Cardone, who's Grant Cardone's brother, both Scientologists, and his company Chargebacks 911 is much worse than the complaint from the FTC. Looks like at first glance. So we're going to do a live stream about that later this evening, as long as the schedule works out. Stay tuned for that. Guys, it's a little late to ask, but please hit that like button. Check that subscribe button. I'm getting so many messages from people that are saying YouTube, they check their subscription status and YouTube has unsubscribed them. It's just a glitch. YouTube does this every now and then. No one really understands why. So hit that subscribe button. Thanks to everybody who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe.